at EasyDeploy, we used to keep on learning a lot of case studies.
What is my benefit and advantages going to EasyDeploy for my cloud migration?
Okay, so EasyDeploy is a select tier AWS partner. We at EasyDeploy have migrated a lot of customers, up to more than 60 to 70 customers. Our consulting fee is very much lesser than having. So if you are going to start a business, your product is.
Maybe with EasyDeploy, I can be rest assured because there are a lot of very senior professionals who are handling this. This kind of an affair is a huge cost for a company. So is it cloud is becoming more costly and only enterprise customers can handle this, or even startups can migrate into cloud?
Definitely, it's not expensive. So many people have. I mean, it all comes to the guy who manages it. Okay, so if it could be expensive if you have not properly managed it. Okay, AWS offers a lot of cost saving options, which even if you're running a 8 GB RAM server, and then you can, I mean, if you have not applied any cost saving option, that would cost you 100%. That is $100. Okay, if you can convert into a reserved instance, which would immediately save you up to 35%. That is immediately converting into a reserved instance. But yeah, so just immediately within a minutes you can save $35 per month. From $100 you can save $35 a month without doing any coding changes, anything. So I mean, it is the guy who's managing the server needs to know all these things. And so if you know how to handle, and if you know how to properly optimize the cloud, then it is not at all expensive.
Okay. Now the second part comes where, see, it is all my data and it's a large data which I'm handling. Okay. And sometimes my data will be my client data as well. Okay.
Correct.
So now I'm coming to you, and you are my partner vendor in terms of deploying all my data. So how far my data is secure there? Because any which way I'm outsourcing to you, and there are chances that people can open up and then maybe use my data to for a different purposes. So these are all my basic questions, because any which way I'm outsourcing, and I'm bothered about security of my data. So how that security aspect has been handled in cloud?
Okay, so basically, so when it comes to EasyDeploy, we properly sign an NDA and ensure that your data is secure from us. Okay, we sign an NDA, take responsibility of your application and your environment codes, everything. Okay, and so I mean, we will not. I mean, there will not be any breach of code in EasyDeploy. Okay, so we sign a proper agreement with you and ensure that all our employees, or even from EasyDeploy management, we get an NDA from all our employees, so that no data in EasyDeploy will be leaked. Okay, whatever data the customer is giving to EasyDeploy, whatever access that the customer is giving to EasyDeploy, it will not be leaked. Okay, so but there is a different aspect when you host it in the cloud. Okay, so people ask, I hosted it on cloud, and why is my application hacked? When they come to us with a new, whenever a new customer coming to us, they might have already hacked, and they would come to us asking us to secure. And there is most common question they ask is, I thought AWS was secure, that's why I hosted on there. But it is not fully secure, because AWS has a shared responsibility model. Okay, where AWS takes care of the infrastructure security. Okay, whatever infrastructure like a network or the server, the underlying host, which we'll be creating another VMs on top of it. Those things will be secure, okay? But whatever VM that we virtual machine that we are provisioning, whatever application codes that we are doing, uh, that has to be secure. So that should only be only be done if you know your OS, if you know your application, and that requires some sort of expertise. Okay, that is our responsibility. Okay, as a cloud architect, we would be. It is our responsibility to ensure the OS that we choose is secure, ensure that the application, as a developer, it is developer's responsibility to ensure that the code that they are using, whatever plugins that they're using, it is all secure. So here comes our responsibility. AWS takes care of the underlying hardware and the hypervisors security and network security. But whatever that runs on top of their environment is our responsibility, and we need to ensure that it is safe and secure. So we need to follow the standard operating procedure. The AWS has given a lot of well architecture frameworks and case studies and everything. We used to at EasyDeploy, we used to keep on learning a lot of case studies to understand how the other companies are implementing, how they have mitigated a lot most common issues, and we start doing it for our customers. So that is where it is not. It is the to answer your question, is hosting the environment on cloud is secure or not? Yes and no. Yes for whatever that AWS is managing. No on what we are managing. We need to make our environment secure by ensuring that designing and properly implementing our application. Okay, so no, we need to convert our no into yes. So we need to ensure our responsibilities are taken care securely. So that's the spot.
Okay. Fine. Maybe with EasyDeploy, I can be rest assured because there are a lot of very senior professionals who are handling this, right? Okay.
Yeah, that's nice.
So can my application have higher uptimes hosting it on cloud?
Short answer is only if it is designed and implemented properly. AWS is offering a lot of features that, if used properly, then definitely we can ensure that our application is highly available, even disaster recoverable, everything. So it has to be designed properly. Yes.
Okay. So when I think of going to cloud, is it going to be an easy job, or how long will it take in terms of migration? Because I might have large data sets or large kind of things to secure, all that. So the process wise, how is it? Is it easy or difficult, or how do you figure it out?
Uh, so basically, our process goes this way. We get the requirement from the client.
So when it comes to migration, when I think of migration, it has large set of data and a lot of aspects which I consider. So how this process works? Is it easy migration, or the process wise is it too complicated? How do you think?
Uh, so we at EasyDeploy have migrated a lot of customers up to more than 60 to 70 customers. It was a pretty easy task. Even the customers have come to us and then said that um, we never thought that it is this much easy as it looked like, because we had a very legacy environment, very old environment, and we thought migrating it to a cloud is very difficult, but it was very easy. So basically what we do is we understand their current environment, how things are working in their current environment, and we create a plan. Okay, so which has to be migrated at what time and everything. So we draft the plan, and then we share it with the client and get the approvals, and then we split their environment into small chunks, and then migrate one after the other to and ensure that they are all up and working on the cloud. And then we ensure that everything is working, completed and migrated over to cloud, and working 100% in the cloud. So we have migrated a lot of customers with zero downtime or very minimal downtime during the off-peak hours. So we take a downtime of 1 or 2 hours, which when their customer base is very less. So let's assume if it is a Indian customer, after 2 a.m. and all, you'll not see you'll not have customers who will be accessing their application, right? So that time we put a maintenance page that they will be down for the next 1 or 2 hours, and then we take we create copy the data to the cloud environment and then bring it up on the cloud, and then remove the downtimes and ensure it is all up. So it's very easy. It's pretty much easy. We have migrated up to 60 to 70 customers already, and they are very much happy with the migration process.
Typically, how long it takes right from day one? So once you sign off, from that day onwards, how long it takes to migrate?
It depends on the complexity of the application, actually. Uh,
Okay.
I mean, it will not be like the application will be down during the entire migration process. Uh, we'll be splitting into a chunk. So if it is a very big application, we split them into small components, and that component will be migrated in 1 day, and then that'll be I mean, after I'm telling after we get all the approvals about the migration, we'll take one component and migrate it within maybe that first day we'll take one component one, and then migrate it. Probably it will take some 30 minutes to 40 minutes, and then bring that component up on the cloud, and next day we'll plan for the next component to move. So probably some applications doesn't need any downtime at all, because might not be any data that the customer is writing. So we can just simply migrate it over without any downtimes and all. So it typically depends on the uh, uh, customer's data and the complexity of the environment. So it's not so there are few customers which had only one component, and we would just migrate it easily within 1 day. 1 day, as in we take a downtime at 2 a.m. and then at 3 a.m. we complete the entire process, and then because we would have already tested on the cloud before migrating the actual data. So we'll take a copy of the data and then migrate to the cloud, and then ask the client to test their data on the cloud, and then we do the actual synchronization during the downtime. So we'll synchronize only the data, missing data, and copy it to the new environment. This will not take usually more than 30 minutes usually. So that time that is more, the downtime will be only 30 minutes maximum for that particular component. So if the component is very less, a little bit less days, less number of days. If the component is very high, very much, then it may take some time. So maximum we plan for 3 weeks of most of the complex applications that we migrated. It only took 3 weeks. This is after the approvals. So after the
Sign off.
approvals and everything.
So typically, what are the advantages and benefits when I think of going to EasyDeploy? When I decided, okay, I'm going to EasyDeploy, what is my benefit and advantages going to EasyDeploy for my cloud migration?
Okay, so EasyDeploy is a select tier AWS partner. Select tier AWS partner means AWS has specific requirements to accept a company to become a partner. Okay, so they need set of this many certified techs should be there, and then these many projects should be completed. Only then, and these many expertise one company should possess. Only then they will approve us as a select tier partner. Okay, so we have completed all the qualities and we have become a select tier partner. So you can consider this as a technical skill set validation. Okay, AWS has validated us as a technically qualified company to become a select tier partner. Okay, and then as I said, we have migrated most complex infrastructure for our customers. Like we have migrated up to 70 customers from legacy environment to AWS, or even within AWS itself, they might be running a very badly designed architectures. We have fixed that, and then we ensure that it is all stabilized and everything. So that is one expertise level that we already have. So which means we have the experience to handle any number of complex environment in the AWS. Okay, and our consulting fee is very much lesser than having in-house tech in your company who is a cloud expert. Okay, even let's assume you have a cloud expert who has all the knowledge that we are processing as a company. Okay, like he could be a good cloud architect. Okay, and hiring a cloud architect on in-house would cost you more than outsourcing it to a EasyDeploy, because we have designed our business model in a way that we run as a lean operations. Okay, we put up every possible efforts to run as a lean operation so that we can support as many of customers with very less, is going to be less when you outsource it to EasyDeploy than having it in-house. Okay, if you have a in-house tech who's a cloud architect expert, you would potentially be paying more than what
Really?
you would be paying it
Okay.
for EasyDeploy. So
Okay.
that's our business model. Yeah, because we strongly believe in missions to handle missions. Okay, if the application, if the environment is uh, I mean, if the infrastructure is having issues, it has to solve by itself. That's how we design our architecture, so that there will be very less manual intervention. So we can run operations with a very minimal number of ticks to manage a complex environment. So that's how that's a benefit of EasyDeploy. You get, first thing, you get the expert level architecture, design, implementation, and management, which you don't get it on in-house tech. Even if you plan to have an in-house tech who is an expert as equivalent as EasyDeploy, you will not get that. The cost of what we are quoting you with, I mean, the quotation that we give you would be pretty much very much lesser than what you would be paying for your expert that you have in-house.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now, relating to that, what are the benefits of having an IAC for your architecture?
A major component of cloud consulting services. Okay, uh, when you do it manually, so let's assume you have hundreds of components, hundreds of microservices in your application, and you will have a development environment, staging environment, and production environment. All these three environments will be identical. What you have in dev will be having, you will be having on stage, and you will be having on production. Okay, so let's take this way. You have 100 components. You need to manually go into the AWS console and start creating one after the other. Okay, so let's assume you completed perfectly on the development environment. Okay, you have to do the same thing on staging. Assume the how much of work is involved uh, to replicate the same thing that you did it on development to stage and then to all the way to production. Okay, let's assume you want to have a UAT environment where you need to show a demo to the customer. You need to have your tech to recreate the same 100 components in the UAT account also. So when it comes to infrastructure as a code, you would be creating create every 100 components in your code itself. Okay, so if you with infrastructure as a code, it is just a matter of running the same command on the staging account. Okay, the same 100 components will be created on the stage account. Even later, same way, if you want to create a production environment, you can just run the same command, same code. You just run just a click of enter button with the AWS account information, and it will be created on the production account also. And then later, if you want to showcase a demo to your customer on an UAT environment, you just have to. It will only take 5 minutes for you to create the same environment, replicate the same environment to UAT also. So the time is saved, the amount of human work is saved, everything is saved when you convert into an infrastructure as a code. So here you just have to use the same code, reuse the same code, and provide the new AWS account information and hit enter. Within 5 to 10 minutes, your 100 components will be created with same configuration to the newer account. So you can say, remember how much number of human work is saved by converting into an infrastructure as a code. So that these are the things that are very good for advantage of infrastructure as a code. And let's assume let's assume you put all your infrastructure in a region which is Northern Virginia. Okay, let's assume AWS Northern Virginia is gone down for some reason, some hurricane or something like that, and you want to ensure your application is up even if AWS goes down, AWS one region is going down. So if you put it in as an infrastructure as a code, you can run the same infrastructure as a code on Oregon region or Mumbai region. Your same environment will be replicated on the another region, and then you can bring your application within minutes. No, you don't have to wait for AWS to bring the Northern Virginia region to come up. You can just replicate it on the same I mean, on a different region with the same exact components. So your disaster recovery becomes very faster. And and you can have a CI/CD process also. So any changes that you do, if you if you, let's assume you are already running 100 components for your application, and you want 101 components, the new one first. 101st component you want to add. Okay, you cannot go and directly add it to the production, right? You need to put it on, add it on the development, and then ensure it is working and not breaking any other 100 components, and then you need to replicate it on the stage and then all the way to the production. So all these things can be done through infrastructure as a code by just merging the code to the development branch by creating a pull request, and then replicating to the staging environment by just from creating a pull request from development to the stage, so that the 101st component will be created on the staging environment, and then create another pull request from staging to the production branch, where it will be deployed to the production branch. So here, uh, the chances of getting an error of adding 101 component uh, is reduced. So you will not have any errors. That's one thing.
Okay. So in this ecosystem, see, there is development, there is operations, all that things. So who needs to adopt this DevOps kind of a process in this ecosystem?
So I would call any SaaS company would definitely need to adapt to a DevOps process, because they would be developing a lot of components, lot of microservices, and they don't want to keep on doing the manual process of doing and deploying it to the environment from stage develop to stage to production. Uh, the developer's job, we think, would only need to code their application. They don't want to have the burden of deploying it to the production or development or staging environments. The only duty would need to create a feature branch and then work on their feature and then create a pull request to the develop branch and then merge it. Okay, and our DevOps pipeline DevOps features will automatically do the testing process, build the test, and then deploy process. So any SaaS company, I would say, would definitely need to adapt to a DevOps process. Apart from that, maybe some e-commerce companies can also do, but the major company would be SaaS companies.
Okay. So getting an understanding that SaaS companies needs this. So which are all the SaaS companies you are supporting?
Okay, so we are supporting quite a few of companies. One is fintech companies. We have around four to five fintech, actually five to give the exact numbers. Five fintech companies we are managing. Fintech companies are like Cred. A best example would be Cred. We are not managing Cred, but some similar companies like Cred we are managing. So that is one of the SaaS company that we are supporting. And e-learning companies, there are a lot of e-learning companies based out of UK we are supporting, where they have the courses online, and uh, uh, we manage the infrastructure for them. Okay, and one best example is Labs. Labs is one of the customer that we are managing. And then gaming companies, we managing quite a few gaming companies where they have their game application which is published online, so we can play games. You have a lot of games in the mobiles, right?
Right.
So those gaming companies we are managing. We are managing up to 3 big gaming companies at the moment. And then patient appointment fixing applications, where usually before COVID and all, you used to go to the hospital and then write it in the note and fix an appointment with the doctor, or call, make a phone call to the hospital and make an appointment, right? Now it is all online. So from your mobile app itself, you can just fix your appointment with request an appointment to your doctor, and then you can fix it. That is one of the a few customers that we are managing. So that is one of the SaaS company. We are managing two applications like this. Okay, and this actually has a requirement standard, HIPAA standard. So which means uh, so in the US, because it is a patient data, right? All the patient appointment fixing, and it will have all the patient sensitive information also, like what disease they have and everything. So it has to be very secure. So I mean, US standards has the HIPAA, okay? HIPAA standards. They have a set of procedures which has to be adopted when you are managing customer data. So that is so these architecture, these two application, these two customers, for these two customers we have implemented with HIPAA standards. Okay, so that their customer data are protected. So this is one of the customers that we manage, and apart from that, we have quite a few 10 up to 10 online audio streaming companies, where they something like Spotify. Example, best
Okay.
example will be Spotify. Spotify, Wink or Wink, Wink, I think. Wink is one of best example that we can give. We are not managing them, but similar companies like that, okay,
Similar.
where they are streaming their musics to their customers, right? So they need to ensure that the streaming environment not is always up. So that is one of our SaaS company that we are managing for our customers.
Okay. Okay. So I'm coming back again to the business experience part of it. So
Mhm.
when it comes to business, you have to handle some main roles and delegate the other tasks to somebody. So in business, what is your main role and what kind of aspect you support on your role?
Uh, so my main role is to keep the team motivated,
Okay.
because it's the team who is going to work for you. It is the
Execute.
team who, yeah.
Mm,
So I would ensure that the team is motivated. First and foremost rule, that is my first and foremost requirement. And apart from that, we as a company, we ensure that our team is financially stable also. That is one thing. And that's it. As a role, also need. I mean, as a CTO, I need to ensure that the technology we do is the latest. I mean, uh, uh, we always foresee what is latest, and then we start learning and doing things. So that is one
mm,
major role.
mm. Okay. So you said in your past answer that you migrated from a job to a business kind of a role. So anybody who is stepping from a job to business may not be successful from the day one. So what was your mistakes which you have done in the past? Maybe if you could share, that could
Mhm.
help us in the process.
Yeah, definitely. I don't remember every mistakes, but I remember quite a few of them, maybe a couple of them mainly. The first would be hiring a good employee is very important aspect of your business, because if you hire a good employee, you can build an empire. If you hire a bad employee, then even your stable situation goes down, right? So definitely, because you don't want to bang your head with your employees,
Correct.
because so if they can understand your vision and they can work for the same vision, take that, take my vision as his vision also, and if they can work on it, then definitely you'll see wonders of your in your business. So let's assume, I mean, taking an employee who is money minded, who thinks that they are only working for money, then that is going to affect your business a lot. Okay, of course, money plays a major role in everybody's life, but uh, they need to see. I mean, you need to ensure that your employee sees a long-term vision of your goal. So if you build an empire, that empire will take care of you. Okay. Uh, so let's assume you build a very good company. The company, if the company is going to stay on a very good position, it will take care of its employees very well. Correct. Uh, it's like that. You invest on something, and that investment goes high. That investment will take care of you. Correct. So the major part of starting a business is to ensure that your employee is motivated. You hire a good employee. Okay, if you hire a bad employee, you will stumble for sure. And I think trying too many businesses on a single go would also fail. I mean, maybe it might work for someone else, but for me, it definitely is not going to work for me. Um, so I tried multiple businesses apart from EasyDeploy, and I don't feel it is easy to manage multiple business without stabilizing EasyDeploy. Because initially when I started EasyDeploy, I started trying out an e-commerce industry and all, and I think it is not going to work, because these two are two different industries. This is EasyDeploy is a service-oriented industry, and the other one is an e-commerce industry. That's more like completely different, and it's difficult to manage two different things. So I thought, okay, maybe I'm very good at managing the services. Let me stick with services for now until EasyDeploy grows. EasyDeploy has potential to grow into many levels. So I think it is better to focus on EasyDeploy only. So two things to summarize. One is hire good employees. Don't hire a bad employee. Ensure that the hired employee stayed motivated and focus on what you have set as a goal. Okay, they also has to. I mean, they also need to focus on the goals that you are defining. Okay, and then focus on one thing until that one business. Focus on one business until it gets stabilized. Once it is stabilized, then you can focus on multiple businesses.
Makes
Because
sense.
you don't want
Absolutely
to
makes
put
sense.
two different things. Yeah, correct.
Yeah. See, when it comes to this cloud computing and all that, it is all latest technology, right? 10 years
Mm,
before, we didn't even know the term cloud computing.
correct.
Okay.
Exactly.
So that means the customer needs are changing on a day-to-day basis, or year on year, the customer needs are changing. So as a company, how do you adopt to this changing needs of customer on a frequent basis? Because
Mhm.
yesterday he will say something, today he will say something, tomorrow he will say something. So adopting and upscaling, scaling up to the next level is a very prominent aspect for a business. So easy deploy, how do you manage those customer changing needs of customers?
Okay, so it is learning, and learning. Because technology is an ever-changing one, and we are prepared for this.
Okay.
When the moment before I even started the company, I was prepared for this, because I know,
Oh.
because I was in the technology with Linux before I started Catch Penguins. For 5 years, I was working, and I knew it is going to change. It is going to evolve, and every 5 years technology gets completely changed, and we need to keep updated. So before I started the company itself, I knew that it is going to happen. So
Mm.
the only way to keep up with that is learning new technologies. And
Okay.
we don't end up only with learning. We do the R&D. After learning,
Mhm.
we start implementing and testing it on our sandbox environment. We have our own sandbox environment in AWS. So we
Mhm.
test it out, ensure that it is stable before giving it to our customers. Okay, and then
Mhm.
we implement it once we ensure that R&D is completed. We take it up for the customers also.
Mhm.
And so it is like I mean, it is ever changing, but we need to make our mind to adapt to the change. Without that, we
Mhm.
cannot survive in the technology industries.
So continuous learning is predominant
Definitely
in
in
your okay, okay, okay.
industry. Yeah.
And having said that, how do you foresee this particular industry? Because you are into technology space and technology is dynamic. Okay, so next 5 years, how do you see the changes and how are you prepared to adopt to those changes?
Uh, so, I mean, technology definitely should be measured only for 5 years, because we will not know
Mhm.
what would happen for next after 5 years, because there might be
Yes,
new things coming up. So we
yes.
only prepare it for next 5 years. Okay, we will then know what is going to come. Then we will prepare it for the the upcoming. So we
Mhm.
will only discuss about what is for next 5 years. So I see for next 5 years, it is the cloud, which we are already on. Okay, is going to make their presence. Okay, with big players like Amazon, Google, Azure, that is Microsoft Azure, everybody playing into cloud. I think they are going to be on cloud for next 5 years. They are going to be the dominant technology trend and everything for next 5 years. So as I said on the earlier discussion, like our roadmap is to include not to stay with Amazon, but to include Google Cloud and then Azure, Microsoft Azure into the services list. So for next 5 years, we are prepared already, and
Mhm.
it is the cloud that is going to make a presence, and nothing
Mhm.
else for next 5 years.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So you're an young entrepreneur, so you know the pain points of starting a business and startups and all that. So right now, everybody after even after graduation, they say that I'm going to start a startup. I'm not going for a job. You know that kind of attitude is coming up with youngsters typically.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So whenever they complete their digital marketing or UI UX or web development courses, they say, I'll start with freelancing and then later I'll move to startup. You know all that. So, having got experience from taking a job and growing up to a business, what is your best advices to these kind of people when they start a business?
Mhm. Okay. So, I mean, I would say what worked for me
Okay.
might be helpful for everyone also. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
if you are going to start a business, your product is very ultimate. Okay. Whatever service that you are going to give to your customers should be very safe and secure and stable. Okay. Let's assume you give a product to a customer, maybe a designed website or something like that. Okay, or maybe infrastructure. You design an architecture and implement to the customers. What if it is not stable? They are
Okay.
going to come back to us saying that this is not stable. The problem gets multiplied. Correct.
Oh, yes,
Uh,
yes.
uh, what will happen if you have sold that architecture, or if you sold that website to 10 different customers, and
Mm.
everybody is coming back and saying that they have issues with this? It gets
Mm-hmm.
you will not have time to focus on your new customers. Correct.
Correct,
uh,
correct, correct.
so you need to ensure that the product that you're selling to your customer is stable and exactly meeting the requirements of your customer. Okay, then they will not come
Mm-hmm.
back to us with issues. They will come back to us for improvements.
Right,
Improvements
right.
is definitely is going to happen, but
Appreciable. Ha, ha, ha.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah, appreciable, and they will also refer us to
Yes.
their friends and everything. But what
Mm-hmm.
if your product is unstable and if it is having
Correct.
issues? They will
Mm.
also go. They will also not refer you to their
Correct.
friends. Correct. So
And
first,
we will
what
get a
we
bad review as well.
Yeah, definitely bad review. And if somebody is already convinced to buy your product and they see your review, a
Yes,
bad review on you, they'll think twice before making a commitment with you, correct?
making
Yeah.
sense, making sense.
Yeah. So the
Sure.
product that you're offering should be the
Hmm.
ultimate thing, and it has to
Hmm.
be safe and secure and matching the requirement of your customer. First thing.
Hmm. Hmm.
Second, upskilling your team. Okay, with
Okay.
technology, you need to ensure your team is all upskilled always to ensure the changing technologies adaptable by your team. Okay,
Hmm.
there might be few new customer coming in. So 5 years back, there are many people who have been doing the application design on PHP. Now most of them have moved it to Angular, React, Node-based projects. Okay.
Okay.
Now you need to ensure that your team knows to write and design codes on Node.js. Right. Tomorrow
Hmm.
something may come.
Correct.
So you need to ensure that your team is upskilling whenever
Hmm.
there is a time. Okay. So that is a
Hmm.
second ultimate thing you need to do it as a company. And third thing would be keep your team motivated.
Okay.
You need to ensure your business is going good. Once your business is going good, you need to give it to your team.
Hmm.
Make them understand that even with the salary also, as well as with respect to the fee, the benefits that you're going to give them is also should be given to them, because
Hmm.
they are the guys who are working for your company, correct?
Correct.
And
Correct. Correct.
ensure that your team, each individual in your team, knows to manage themselves. You don't need to go and manage them. This is what you need to do. This is what you need. Know them their responsibilities. Let them know their
Okay.
responsibilities. This is their duty. This is their ultimate goal. They need to make a plan to work it out and manage themselves by self. It has to be self-managed. We
Accountable.
need.
Typically, they should be
Yeah, correct,
accountable for whatever they have been assigned. Okay.
correct.
Fine. I think this question will be a very right question to you, because you are both in a job and business.
Mhm.
So, what is a favorite thing of being a business owner?
Okay, that's a good question. Uh, well, I like this role, to be precise. The one best thing I got as a businessman is the independent to make the decisions. Okay.
Decision making. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, decision making. I don't want to rely on anyone else or get approvals on anyone else. I
Okay.
know what I'm doing. I know I'm doing it right, but I
Hmm.
don't. If I was working for
You
a
don't need a
company,
validity to get approval or anything,
yeah,
which is
correct.
stumbling the entire process. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Hmm.
stumbling later.
That's right.
So I know this is right, and I know it is going to work. I don't want to
Hmm.
get any approvals. I'm going to do it right away.
Okay.
And focus on the plan, make a plan, everything,
Hmm.
and start doing it. That's it. So the
Hmm.
independent way to independence to make a decision is very important thing as a
Hmm.
business owner that I get. And
Hmm.
experimenting new ideas. If I have any ideas,
Okay.
well, I would start experimenting it, because if I was working for a company, I'll not have a chance to experiment a new ideas.
Correct.
Right
Correct.
now, I have the privilege to do experiment
Hmm.
a new service that I can offer it to our customers, do the R&D
Hmm.
and everything.
Hmm.
Uh, those things I have the privilege as a business owner. I will not have as a employee.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful, wonderful. I mean, quick decisions and quick converts to quick actions, whether it may
Yeah,
not be possible in
definitely.
a job kind of scenario. Making a lot of
Exactly.
sense.
Yeah,
Yeah,
time is the new money. I've read it somewhere. So the
true, true.
more fast you get into action, the
Mm.
more benefit you will get as a company also. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so time is the new money.
True, true, true.
Because
Making a lot
technology
of
is
sense.
changing, you might have technology is changing. You might have thought something in your mind, and you slowly implementing. That time, the technology would change it to something else, right?
True,
And
true,
if you have
true,
not launched your application, then you will fail eventually. Yeah.
true, true, true. Completely makes a lot of sense in terms of describing this. Fine. So now we are coming to the fun part of this interview, which is a rapid fire questions where I need a very honest answer and quick answer because you're a fast decision maker. So shall we begin?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So what is the best advice you've got in terms of business?
Okay. Do not with business. You don't have to limit anything. Grow as much as you can. If your business has a potential, grow it. That's it. You don't have to set any limit.
Okay, okay. And what was the worst advice you got for business?
Try to manage everything yourself. Is the worst advice that I've ever got. I don't want to manage everything myself. If I have to manage everything myself, then I mean I'll have a burden. I'll not be able to find time to focus on the future.
Right, right. Makes sense. So what are your learnings in terms of your mistakes?
Don't focus on too many business at the same time without stabilizing one business. That's my law.
Mhm. When it comes
And
to social,
have a team. Oh, sorry. Yeah,
go
go
ahead,
ahead.
go ahead.
And have a team that is supporting your goals.
Mhm. Fine, fine. So when it comes to social media, LinkedIn or Instagram?
LinkedIn. I'm technical guy, so I would prefer LinkedIn.
Okay. Digital marketing or networking?
I would prefer both. Both are
Okay,
required.
backward. Business automation or self-learning?
I would call both, but first preference would be business automation.
Okay. Long-term branding.
Computers won't demand for more money, more salary.
True, true, true. Okay. Long-term branding or immediate sales?
Long-term branding.
Okay. Outsourcing your business or do it yourself?
Depends on what we do. So whatever product that we are offering, whatever services that we are offering, we will do it by ourselves. Anything that is not related to our product, which is like marketing or business promotion, will be outsourced.
Wonderful.
So our core product will be with ourselves only. I don't want to give it to I don't want to outsource it. Whatever that is not our core product, which is like a business promotion or marketing, that we will outsource.
That's the end of my rapid questions. I think most of the things have been answered. So one final questions would be, what would be your suggestions in terms of cloud computing, in terms of business in cloud computing and job in cloud computing? What could be your recommendations and suggestions?
Okay, so uh, I would answer same for both.
Okay.
Uh, the business is a cloud computing. You are in the edge of the technology, and you can rock it for next 5 years. Definitely, there is no doubt on that.
Okay.
Even for a guy who is going for a job in cloud, you are on the right track, and you start learning everything and take it as a passion and start working it. You definitely reach higher levels in the cloud.
Okay. Okay. So that comes to the conclusion of our interview. So I was having a very great learning about cloud computing as a business and the technology nuts and bolts of each element, because that hands-on experience in both the job and business was getting showcased in the interview answers. So that was a great learning. So all the very best for your future endeavors and all the very best for EasyDeploy to make a lot of business out of it. So anything if you want to I mean, how do your customers has to reach out to you through this video or any contacting method, consulting method you have that you can tell?
Okay, they can definitely reach to us in the contact form in our website, easydeploy.io. They can definitely write to us, or they can write to us using my email address, siranjeevi@easydeploy.io. That's one of my email address where they can directly personally write an email to me, and they can reach out to me anytime. and I will be able to assist.
Wonderful, wonderful. So thank you so much for your time, and wishing you all success.
Thank you, Sandra.